Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our in-demand major webinar series. Sorry for the delay. We were having a little bit of technical difficulties. I am Missy DeBoer, the Director of Campus Admissions at Northwood University, and I will be your moderator tonight as we look at the majors of Management Information System, Cybersecurity Management, and Information Systems and Cybersecurity. One thing I would like to point out to you is you will have a chance to use the chat box to ask some questions. So just type your questions in that chat box, or some people will call it the comment box. Whatever you call it, just type your questions throughout and we will be sure to answer them at the end of our session tonight during our dedicated Q&A. We are really excited that you're here with us and taking the time to learn more about why Northwood University is such a special place and potentially your future home. At Northwood, you will pick a major. That major is what is going to be your specialty and your expertise. As a Northwood student, you will start experiencing classes in that major in your first semester. All Northwood majors feature a common business core, which prepares our graduates to be well-rounded leaders in any organization and industry, regardless of the specific major that you choose. Our faculty are industry experts and they leverage their business and life experiences to mentor and coach students. Northwood students feel connected and supported both inside and outside of the classroom. And there are plenty of opportunities to learn and have fun. We embrace a philosophy called the Northwood idea. We believe in the power of free markets and entrepreneurial leadership to improve society and quality of life for everyone. Northwood students are determined to go make a difference in the communities they live in and companies they work for or own. And at Northwood, we value hands-on experience. Our students compete, plan signature events, and pursue internships that add to their personal and professional profiles. You will learn skills you never thought possible because you will be surrounded by students with a similar mindset that are passionate and driven when it comes to their future in business. Tonight, we're going to look at management information systems, cybersecurity management, and information systems and cybersecurity. But Northwood University has over 20 different business majors. The in-demand webinar series will take place until December 17th, and we will cover all of these majors. With that, let's look at our agenda for tonight. We have three main areas that we will focus on. First, we will talk about the major and what makes it unique. Then we will bring in a Northwood student that will give you a look at what it's really like to be in the major, and then we'll wrap it up with next steps. Without further ado, let me introduce to you Professor Sanford and Professor DeWeaver. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. So when you look at the industry as a whole, in MIS and in cybersecurity, from the screen, you'll see that there are a bunch of jobs out there in the industry for both majors. What makes us a little bit different and why there's so many unfilled jobs out there in the market right now is because of the way that MIS and cybersecurity is taught. At Northwood, we developed our programs from the ground up. What that means is it's not what we want, it's not what really you want, but it's what the employer wants. So when the employer asks for certain skill sets, that's what we're teaching you so that you can fill some of those jobs. And you might ask yourself, 3.5 million jobs will be unfilled by next year in cybersecurity. And that's only a month away. Why is there so many jobs unfilled? It's because there are not enough qualified people for the jobs. It's because the way cybersecurity is taught. In cybersecurity, you should know how to think like a hacker. If you can't think like a hacker, then how can you prevent it? And another thing, if you don't understand business, how do you know what you're going to protect? Same thing in MIS. If you don't understand business, how are you going to know how these systems interact and which systems should interact and which ones you should purchase and which ones you should institute in the business? So MIS and cybersecurity kind of go together. But when I'm talking about cybersecurity, you have to understand that if you don't know how cybersecurity functions, if you don't know how the background and how business functions, you'll be one of the people that are unable to do the job. So we've developed our program so that you understand the basics, and then you're able to go into a workplace and you're able to fulfill the job. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Professor Sanford, and he can talk a little bit about why Northwood.
Here at Northwood, we actually have multiple paths that you can take, from least technical to most technical. I'm getting some feedback, sorry. So you got least technical to most technical. Least technical being management information systems. It's all about business processes and improving business processes, increasing efficiency, profitability, effectiveness, technology. And sometimes you're developing an application, like a web application or something like that, or other times you're actually taking things that already exist, off the shelf software and that, or off the shelf technology, and you're integrating it into an existing system. Now, cybersecurity management takes you up a notch, and it becomes a little more narrowed. What happens with cybersecurity management is you're looking at policy creation and that to help protect your data. You're controlling the general use agreements and everything else that's associated with it. You're looking at the ethical guidelines and everything of cybersecurity. Then you go to the BS in information systems and cybersecurity, and in that one, it's quite a bit more technical. You're doing more programming, you're doing scripting, you're doing ethical hacking, you're doing more in the lines of understanding the technology. You're taking multiple networking classes and stuff of that nature. So that's the progression. You're going MIS, then you're going cybersecurity management, and then you're going information systems and cybersecurity, which is a Bachelor of Science. Again, Lewis, Professor DeWeaver, he mentioned, that we created these programs and that to address industry skill gaps. There is another skill gap that exists, and we weren't going to talk about it on this, but I do want to mention it really quick, is that we are going to add one more technical degree that goes even further than cybersecurity, and that is computer science. And again, it's because there are a lot of industry gaps in the skill sets and that necessary. One of the, I want to say there's 11%. I know I can't remember how many jobs all of a sudden, but it's somewhere around 400,000 unfilled jobs every year in computer science, and they're having a hard time finding people. And one of the things that makes Northwood different, like Professor DeWeaver was talking about, is that we actually structured around what industry wants. They talk about skill gaps. It's not always about skill gaps. It's about the knowledge of business. So a lot of these people that are hiring in that, they're saying, well, you can give us all these people with skill, but they don't understand business. And that is extremely important. We would actually prefer somebody that could understand business with some skill, and we would hire that person because we can always train them in skills. Well, here we're giving you the best of both worlds. We're giving you the skill and the business mentality in its entirety instead of just a little bit of each. So,
and some of the course experiences, we do a lot of hands-on projects. You learn how to actually do some ethical hacking. And the Think Like a Hacker project is you actually think like a hacker. What would you do? And most of my students, if not all of them, every time they come to class, everywhere they go on campus, I tell them you have to think like a hacker. Because if you don't understand or have a hacker mindset, it's kind of hard, and you let down your guard. For example, let's take Equifax. Let's take Target. They have some of the smartest and most highest paid people working for them, but yet they got hacked. How is that possible? It's because the people who were working there did not have a hacker mindset. At Equifax, they actually had a database server that was facing on the internet. So anybody with a little skill could have hacked into it and stole a lot of information. And at Target, they actually had a thermostat on their admin network. hacker simply walked in the store with his phone, scanned the network, found the thermostat, found some flaws in the thermostat, connected to the thermostat, actually got on their admin network, and they were on there for 4 years before they were even discovered. A simple scan of the network would have showed them that they have vulnerable stuff on the network. And our most and very, very new assignment that's going to be coming out is called Deep Dig assignment. That's where we actually let the hackers in. We let the hackers in because we see how they react, how they get in, the tools that they use, and now we're learning from the hackers. So it's no longer that we want to prevent people from hacking, because the good hackers are going to get in. But if we frustrate them and we learn what they do and we do it a little bit better than them, guess what? We conquer the hackers. And that's what the Deep Dig assignment is all about. And it's very, very interesting. So without further ado, I will turn it back over to Missy.
Thank you so much, Professor. Well, thank you so much, both of you, for coming in tonight. Don't worry, I will be bringing them back for the Q&A. So please make sure you're using that chat box throughout to ask your questions. Now, I would love to introduce to you Kayla Colson. She is a Northwood University student. She has a major in management information systems, and she has a minor in cybersecurity management. Welcome, Kayla.
Thanks for having me.
We're super excited you're here tonight, but I'm just going to kind of hand it over to you and let you do your thing.
All right, so first of all, I want to let everyone know why I chose Northwood. So when I was deciding which university to go to, there were 3 things I wanted to consider. First being the class size, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to learn in a lecture hall with 200 students. So I looked at Northwood's class sizes, found that they have an average faculty ratio of 18-to-1, and thought that was a really good idea for me. I thought maybe I can make relationships with my professors and get to learn a lot better than I would be in a giant lecture hall at a big college. And second, I wanted a hands-on experience. So besides what Professor DeWeaver has said about the hands-on experiences limited to this major, I was also looking at the hands-on experiences provided to Northwood students as a whole. So the auto show is a really big one for me, and I'm very glad that I got involved in the auto show. In my second year, I was a captain, and we ended up winning awards. And it's just a really rewarding experience, and you get to make a lot of connections. So my third reason that I chose Northwood was the cost. A lot of people are thrown off by the idea of a private college, thinking, oh, this might be more expensive than a public university. But that's actually not the case, at least in my experience and the experience of a lot of Northwood students. So Northwood offers a ton of opportunities for scholarships. So because we're a private college, we get a lot of private donors. And so you can end up going to Northwood, which is a private university, for a lower cost than you would be spending at a public university. So that being said, now you know why I chose Northwood. So since I've been here, I've had a couple internship opportunities, and I have accepted an internship and had one last summer and will be returning there this summer. So that internship is at Nationwide Mutual Insurance. It's based in Columbus, Ohio. And there I am kind of taking my skills from cybersecurity and MIS. So there I've worked in the third-party information risk management, or IRM as we call it, department in IT, where I do different security assessments. And so what I've learned both in the MIS classes and the cybersecurity classes has been very, very helpful. And so we mentioned how these classes do go hand in hand. And no matter which major you choose, or if you choose a double major, I highly recommend kind of double dipping every now and then. Maybe take some of your extracurriculars in cybersecurity if you're an MIS major, because it's definitely helpful, and Northwood has prepared me for my internship experience very greatly. And I'll return it back to Missy.
Well, thank you, Kayla. Well, that sounds like you have had a great internship experience.
Oh, I loved it there. Yeah, there's a reason I'm going back. I absolutely love my team. I loved what I did and everything.
Oh, you can tell. That's wonderful. So, but now it's my time for my favorite part of the night, and that is Q&A. So I'm going to bring back Professor DeWeaver and Professor Sanford. Welcome back, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Some of the questions to come in. Let's just chat a little bit. I've heard a lot of comments tonight about, maybe double majoring or getting a minor in something. What are, if you can each answer, is there a certain class or classes that are great to major in and minor in with these degrees?
I'll answer some of that. If I was going to choose a minor for MIS, I would either choose data analytics or cybersecurity management. Cybersecurity management and the MIS are, I think there's like 6 or 7 classes difference between them, which means that for what you can do a minor in, it takes 6 classes to minor in a major. Sorry, and here you can actually do MIS and cybersecurity at the same time and do a double major rather easily without adding more time. Now, the other thing is the data analytics is just a really good match for either of those degrees. For cybersecurity in general, cybersecurity management or the BS in cybersecurity, either one of those would be great for data analytics as it would also be great for MIS. Just the combination of those is phenomenal. The only other thing I would say is that all of our degrees, all of our technical degrees would actually make a great minor or major to any other major that you take at Northwood. Like Professor DeWeaver mentioned, every organization has this stuff. Every organization has the need for information systems and has the need for cybersecurity personnel and everything else. So if you were an automotive major, yeah, you would want to do this. As a matter of fact, one of the large manufacturers of aftermarket, that Cox Automotive, they've been working with Northwood for a long time. And one of the things that they were talking about is because of their artificial intelligence and everything, they're really concerned, like self-driving vehicles and artificial intelligence, as far as like having your car diagnose itself and literally drive itself to a place to have it repaired, having your product to repair your vehicle at the place when you show up because they know what's wrong with your car before you get there. All of those features that they add to cars create security issues. So cybersecurity is something they're strongly looking at. Just to give you a couple of examples. I don't know if Professor DeWeaver has anything else to say.
Yeah, I mean, just like even in healthcare management, cybersecurity and healthcare, if you minored in it, I mean, it would be great because most hospitals are having the same problem. But you could almost take any major that we have and add cybersecurity minor because you need to know about cybersecurity. And pretty soon, every company is going to need a cybersecurity person. So what that does is you're not the person that gets the brand new job. You walk in there, they give you your computer, and you open up an email, and you just encrypted all of the data for the entire company. And now the company's out of business on your first day of work. I wouldn't want to be that person. So you need to understand how cybersecurity works. So no matter what major you go into, no matter what business you go into, you're going to have to protect the data. You're going to have to protect yourself. And it just gives you a broad idea of how you can protect yourself.
I was just going to say, can I answer Zach's question there?
Sure.
As far as what we're looking for in a Northwood applicant, as far as MIS is concerned, we would want anybody that looks at things differently. You know, you're standing in line at a store and you're looking at the way that technology, different forms of technology could make a process more efficient. You know, the return process or the purchase process, you know, the people that thought of the idea of having tablets at a table in a restaurant so you can order your own food and pay and stuff. That mentality, you don't have to be a highly technical person. You don't have to be really good at math or anything. There are a couple programming classes that you take, but primarily what we're looking for is just that initial drive of critical thinking where you're involved in a process and you think to yourself, man, this could be so much easier if we included this technology or what have you. You know, I don't know if that answers your question, but that's what the best thing I can say is if you have interest in technology, but you're not the really, if you're not the kind of person that wants to sit in your basement and eat Swiss cake rolls and just code all day, MIS is a really good idea, and so is cybersecurity. A lot of people that go into computer science end up coding a lot, and they do a lot more math and stuff. So that's why we have MIS. A lot of people that go to school to start computer science usually back off into MIS or information systems because sometimes they just don't like all the math. So.
Thank you. So, and I'm going to answer just from a general Northwood perspective for an applicant. When you apply to Northwood University, I mean, obviously we look at your GPA, and if you have a test score, we look at that. We are test optional, but we really look at the whole student. So your essay is really important. Why are you passionate about business? What is it that you think you really want to do? And I always say, if you know what you want to do, we're the perfect school for you. And if you have no idea what you want to do, but you know it's in business, we're also the perfect school for you, because all we do is business, and we have over 20 majors for you to explore. So there's lots of opportunities to get involved on campus. And for an application, we're just looking for that passion and that drive. So there's another question that I'm going to pull up here.
Yeah, the percentage between business and IT. I'll answer that one too, because I'm the chair of the MIS. Professor DeWeaver is the lead of the cybersecurity. But as far as MIS, you're looking at between business classes, the business core, and MIS, you're probably looking at I'd probably say close to 50-50 as far as business versus MIS. And then you have your gen ed requirements. But I'd say you're awfully close to 50-50. You're taking, just to give you an idea, you're taking 2 programming classes, a networking class, intro course. You're taking an ERP class, systems analysis and design, senior project, and there was project management. So, you're taking quite a few courses in MIS as far as all that goes. The relationship, if I'm correct, for Lewis is about the same for the cybersecurity management degree, but the BS in information systems and cybersecurity is a lot heavier weight towards the IT aspect and the technology aspect. There's more math and stuff associated with it, but it's much more technical and many more classes than what you get with MIS as far as the business balance.
We have another question that came in from Gabby. What kind of jobs did you do at your internship? Kayla, it looks like that one's for you.
All right. Well, so my internship was kind of interesting. I know a lot of companies are formatting it like this too. So how it works is, if you end up working for a large corporation the way that I did, they accept you as an IT intern, and then you get to choose which department you want to go into. So I told them, I'm fine with any technology, but I am getting a business degree. So try and integrate me somewhere in there. And so they ended up putting me in the third-party information risk management sector, kind of. It was like a team. It's like kind of our own department, but there were only 5 of us, so it's like our little team. So what we would do is do security assessments of the third-party vendors of the company. So that being said, there was one team that was like the more attack and penetration side, which was cybersecurity, like very hands-on hacker kind of stuff. But what I did is, obviously no one wants to hack the companies that they work for. So, or that work for them. But so what we would do is look at these companies and see what applications they have in place that protect their data, so that when they use the data from our company, or we end up taking things from their systems, that it's not going to be corrupted. So it was a lot of security analysis, a lot of technical stuff, but also a lot of like meetings with those companies to try and understand them. So I think it was kind of a good example for like a good MIS and cybersecurity and business administration kind of internship, because it really was all of those. And I know, like I said earlier, a lot of large corporations accommodate to you because, like Professor DeWeaver said earlier, the demand is so high for students that are learning things like this. So they even told us, like, we really want you to be here. So if you find interest in something else, then just let us know and we'll put you in another department. And I know that's what a lot of corporations are doing right now. So just have an idea of what you want to do at your internship when you go and apply, and then when you're there.
Thank you so much, Kayla. That sounds actually pretty interesting and kind of fun. So I want to say thank you so much to all of you for coming in. I really appreciate your time and sharing with us tonight, your expertise and your passion for your major. But now we're going to take the next step, and I'm going to say goodbye to our wonderful faculty and to Kayla. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming in. I really appreciate it. So now that we've had the opportunity to learn about Northwood, I would like to tell you what are some of your next steps. So the first thing I would love for you to do is schedule a campus visit if you haven't already scheduled one. So we are doing personal in-person visits as well as virtual visits. So if you want to visit campus and have a visit and a tour, we are following all COVID-19 procedures and protocol. We would love for you to come and see our beautiful campus, experience this entrepreneurial spirit, and meet our students and even some of our faculty if you'd like. The second piece is to apply to Northwood. So if you're a high school senior or a student interested in transferring to Northwood in the fall of 2021, please go to northwood.edu/apply. Thank you again for joining us tonight. If you're interested in other majors, remember that the webinars will go to December 17th. If you missed the webinar for the major you're really interested in, don't worry, because they're all posted on YouTube. Just search Northwood University Major Webinar Series. Thank you again for joining us, and have a fantastic evening.